Hornet, guardian of the once great kingdom of Hollowness, has been captured by zealots of the Holy Citadel. With the help of an unseen ally, Hornet escapes her tormentors. Freed, Hornet swears an oath to free herself and the denizens of Farloon from the Citadel's righteous clutches. Welcome peeps and peepettes. It is I, your friendly neighborhood penguin friend. And today, we're going to be talking about Hollow Knight Silksong. And it broke me. That's the review. It broke me, guys. I don't know what else to say. So, for all extensive purposes, Hollow Knight Silksong is a masterpiece. There's no doubt about it. It just may not be for you. Or for me. Or for my autistic cousin Timmy. Well, actually, it might be for him. What exactly do I mean by that? Well, when I say maybe not be for you, may not be for you. So let's say you don't like eggs. But you know what good eggs look and taste like. They're nice and fluffy and they got that subtle buttery flavor. Everyone is like, oh man, you gotta try these eggs. They're perfect, they're beautiful, they're the best eggs, best. I know eggs, trust me. I know eggs. You take a bite. Has all the hallmarks of what makes good eggs. And you go, I don't like it. But I know you will love it. Does that make sense? Well, no, because I like Metroidvanias.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
So enough beating around the bush. Let's just get into this. To explain why this game really broke me, we have to talk about combat and exploration. The two biggest aspects in a Metroidvania game. So both of these are intertwined with the crest and tool system. Now, there are 7 different crests. Each one changes Hornet's moveset. And then there's tools. Every crest has slots for tools to be equipped on. There's 3 subcategories of tools. Red tools, which are mostly offensive tools. Blue tools, which are mostly defensive and utility type tools. And then yellow tools, which are mostly exploration tools. Now, I say there's 7 different crests, but I really believe in your first playthrough, unless you're wanting to spend hours to quote-unquote get good, the only 2 crests that are viable are the Reaper's and Wanderer's crest. The biggest reason why these 2 are viable and the other crests are not has to do with their down attack or pogo attack. Reaper's and Wanderer's crest are the only 2 crests that their down attack is actually a down attack. The rest of the crests actually have more of a diagonal attack, or in the case of the Beast crest, an arcing attack. Witch crest and Shaman crest both have a down attack that's slightly angled, but it might as well just be a regular down attack, but there's other reasons making these crests not viable. One, Shaman crest, you just get that way too late in the game to really master, and the Witch's crest has a healing ability that is a little bit different to the rest of them, which is an interesting ability, but would take some time to learn, I believe. And in fact, that's kind of the biggest problem with a lot of these crests. I kind of got into it earlier when I was saying you need to take time to really get good at these ones. In fact, I'll be honest, when I first got the Beast Crest with its arcing down attack, I legitimately thought my game was bugged. I thought there was something going on that was wrong with my actual game because it threw me for such a big loop. Which, again, was really disappointing because I liked the idea of the Beast Crest. And I know I've been kind of repeating myself here, but that's just how I felt about a lot of this stuff. There were so many different types of move sets or tools I really wanted to use, but there was some tick to them, some trade-off, some downside that really made them unviable, in my opinion. Now, I will say, as time goes on, you do get other tools and abilities such as the Claw Line and the Delver's Drill, which does allow you to explore better with these other crests than maybe I initially gave them credit for. But I will have to say, the very beginning of the game, I really think the Hunters and the Reaver's Crest need to be switched positions. I really believe you should start off with the Reaper's Crest and then get the Hunter's Crest in Greymore, I believe what it's called. Now, the reason why I believe that is the diagonal down attack for the Hunter's Crest is very difficult and very jarring, I believe, for first-time players. I think a lot of people are going to quit the game, and I may be right about that. I could be wrong about that. I really don't know. I'll be honest. If I'm going to say this a couple times in this review, if I was not playing this game, specifically streaming it, and to make this review, I probably would not have finished this game. I don't know if having the Hunter's Crest would have done it for me, because you do get the Reaper's Crest fairly quickly, which makes exploration a lot easier. But man, I was getting frustrated early on. Now, I do understand narratively why you start off with the Hunter's Crest, and I do not like to criticize without giving another option. So I would say what I would have done is I would have put the Reaper's Crest to start with, explained it away, because obviously the Hunter's Crest is more aligned with Hornet's actual moveset if you played Hollow Knight, the original. That's obviously the moveset that she's using when you fight her. But they could have explained it the way that, she's weakened from the runes or whatever that was used when they captured her. And I get it that, when she's exploring Farloom, she's actually getting powers from the remnants of the Weavers who rebelled, or old kings and queens of Farloom. But maybe they could have explained it away, saying, when you get up to where you normally get the Reaper's Crest, the guy goes, hey, I don't have any power left, but I can help restore your power. And that's how they could have explained it. We do have to talk about everything doing 2 damage. So, like most games, you need 4 of mass shards or, heart shards or whatever to get another hit point. Health in this game is measured by mass. So with 4, you get another hit point. But essentially, with everything doing 2 damage, you essentially need to get 8 mass shards in order to increase your hit points by 1. This is extremely frustrating and honestly kind of takes away from the joy or the dopamine hit you get from exploring, from finding these items out and about in the world. And I'm 40 years old and I need my dopamine. But I have to say, and I know some people aren't going to like it, and maybe I am boomer coded, millennial coded, or whatever. My biggest problem with the combat, and that is having your 2 best attacks, which is your silk ability and your tools, be set to the same button. So for me, using my Xbox One controller, your silk ability is RB. You want to use one of your tools, it's up RB. If you want to use the other tool, it's down RB. Guys, this led to so many accidental activations. And I've played this game all the way through. I got the secret mushroom ending. I'm still getting accidental activations. It's just too much. To have these both tied to the same button, I think is a fundamental mistake. I'm not opposed to games having buttons doing the same thing and doing up and down to trigger different abilities, but I'm a big believer in those should not be combat abilities. I cannot tell you how many times I went to go use my Silk ability, launch the tool, or I wanted to launch a tool and I used my Silk ability, which is extremely bad because there are many times where I was actually trying to save up my Silk to use a heal. This led to so many accidental deaths. It ran me out of shards, which I'll get into the shard and rosary system. A lot of people complained about that. I didn't think that was that bad. I guess I already talked about it then. But the RB button, your two strongest abilities being tied to the same button. Oh my god, that was just... If you watched my playthroughs, you understood. That was very frustrating to me. I know I've said the word frustrating a lot, but I don't know how to else describe it. And another problem, at least I felt with the tools, is look at this fight that I'm doing with Lost Lace here. Look at all that is going on the screen. Part of the reason why I don't like using tools is that just adds another thing on screen that I'm trying to keep track of. And like I said, maybe I'm boomer coded. It's really hard for me to keep track of everything. And honestly, this isn't even the worst one with stuff on the screen going on. It's too much. It overwhelms me. That probably is a me problem. But for me, it was pretty rough sometimes. Especially during the Trobio fight. That one was really hard to keep track of later on. Especially his tormented form. So let's talk briefly about the rosary and the shard system. The game does have two currencies. I've already mentioned it before. Other people have complained about this. I didn't think it was that bad. Basically, you use shards to refill your tools, and you use rosaries at the shops to buy stuff. You can also go around the map and buy benches. A lot of people have complained, said there's not really enough enemies to drop rosaries, but really once you enter Act 2, everybody in the Citadel drops rosaries. It's really easy to farm them. You can farm 1,000 rosaries in like 20 minutes if you really want to. I didn't think it was that bad. And like I said, you use shards to refill your tools. Later on, you can buy shards directly from merchants, so it's really just easier to farm rosaries and go buy the shards to refill your tools. Again, I thought it was fine. I've seen videos online, people complaining about it, and I'm just like, whatever. I don't care about that. That was fine. If you watched my streams, you know I was done with this game. I forget what stream it was, but I was fighting Seth, and it was just another boss fight, another pattern I had to learn, another hitbox I thought was a little unfair, and I was just like, I put my controller down, and I did something I almost never do on stream. I just stopped. I said, guys, I'm not having fun. That last attempt I did with Seth, I just said, okay, we're done for the day. And that's the first time a video game has done that to me. And I don't honestly know when. Well, I was just like, I am done. And there was multiple times as I played this game, I almost got up, came onto the stream and said, guys, we're done. We're not playing it anymore. I'm not enjoying myself, and I don't want to play it. And I think the biggest problem was There were no moments of respite. It was... Unless you made those moments, like you went back to town and relaxed yourself. It was... Explore... It was explore the map a little bit, gauntlet, stuck for an hour on the gauntlet, explore a little bit more, boss, stuck for an hour or two on the boss, and just rinse and repeat. In fact, reason why you're watching this Lost Lace fight, or me going through and doing platforming with the different crests, is I fully intended to go back through and get footage again for this review. But I started a new game, started playing it a little bit, and I gotta be honest, all the things that frustrated me came right back. And I don't know, because the game is objectively great. It's obviously beautiful. The music is stupendous. But I'm done with it. I will probably do the DLC when it comes out. Mostly for that sweet, sweet content. But I'm never picking up this game again in my life after that. I'm done with it. And that's sad, because, you know, I wanted to enjoy it a lot. I really did. I wanted to really enjoy this game. And there were so many times where I was about ready to get into it. I was enjoying exploring the map. I was vibing with it. I was vibing with the combat. I was loving exploring the map. I loved it. And then bam, a gauntlet or a boss. And I'm not talking dying a couple times, guys. I can get over that. I'm talking banging my head on the freaking wall for hours on end. And I was just... What was I doing? And I know a lot of people tuned into the streams, especially on YouTube, so apparently they were entertaining to some people. But to me, guys, I wasn't having fun. And man, there was I know I'm repeating myself, but there was so many times I was so close. So close. I was really feeling the game. I was feeling it, man. And I was like, yeah, this is fun. I'm really enjoying it. Bam. I think a lot of it just came down to, it was just gauntlet, boss, platforming challenge after another. And it was just like, God, give me a break, Team Cherry. Like, give me a moment respite. Like, the first Hollow Knight was a hard game. It was a very hard game. In fact, there were times in that game where I thought to myself, okay, guys, you need to take it down a notch. But I mean, like, there were some bosses in that game that were freaking easy. You beat them first try, no problem. Or maybe if you were, you know, didn't know the boss was coming and you were low in health, that beat you once, and then you came back at full health and you beat him. It wasn't a problem. I mean, there was a couple times, like if you were there for my Hollow Knight streams, you know, like the Watcher Knights, which I called the Sonic Knights, I got stuck on them. They kicked my ass. In fact, it was almost fun, them kicking my ass, because I knew I could beat them. But this was different. And I almost don't know how to describe it. I didn't even write the last 10 minutes. I didn't even write down, guys. I have a script. I'm just freeformer of that. So in the end, how do I rate a game that I know is objectively good? That broke me. I don't know, guys. I just started this series. I'm going to be doing a Resident Evil 9 review, and I'm probably going to give that game like an 8.5 or 9 out of 10. But I have no idea what to give this game. I don't. Because it's a great game. But I didn't like it. I was frustrated to no end, and I'm done with it. All jokes aside. So maybe this wasn't a very good game to start the series with. But I did it anyway. Because that's who I am. Master. Lord and commander of bad decisions. I guess what I said at the beginning holds. Silksong is a masterpiece. If it's a 10 out of 10 for you, if you love it, you're right. You are. I can't deny it. But for me, and I think a lot of other peeps, it was a game. And that's what I'll say about it. Anyways, what do you guys think? Let me know what you think in the comments below. What did you rate Silksong? Do you kind of agree with me that it kind of broke you too? Let me know. Like the video. Subscribe. We stream Thursdays through Mondays. 10 to 1 is normally Project Zomboid, and then 1 to 4 is Variety. Right now, Variety's on hiatus because I wanted to get this review done, and then I wanted to do the Resident Evil 9 review. But then we're going to go back with Variety again. Probably going to redo the Ori series. I played them not too long ago, but I didn't do a review, and I want to do a review of them. So, if that's something that interests you, subscribe. We're live on YouTube Shorts, Twitch, and Kick. Same username, Penguin Friend. Come check us out. And anyway, friends, as always, waddle on.